Hello, I'm FBX and welcome back to a commentary style video. So today I wanted to talk about one of the most unbelievable issues that Minecraft does have, because Microsoft, the company, works better with Nintendo and works better with Google through their Android operating system than it does with their own Xbox One, console, which they release and they put a lot of effort into pushing. So what is the deal with Microsoft not working well with Microsoft? And in fact, this is a three-pronged issue because Microsoft, the console maker, does not work well with Microsoft, the people who own Minecraft, who do not work very well with Microsoft, the people who own the Xbox Live service. This sounds unbelievable on the surface, but is a real issue, and I want to talk about exactly what the issue is and exactly how interestingly it can be that one company can work so badly with itself to the point where you would rather play Microsoft's own game on any platform but Microsoft's own. So let's dive into it. Let's start talking about what the three Microsoft companies we're talking about are, because there is Microsoft, the Xbox, the console manufacturer. They've been in the game since the Xbox original. They made the Xbox 360, and now they have the Xbox One, which is the big console they're pushing at current time. Obviously, there's a new one coming at some point, but it's the big present console. Then we've got Xbox, who are the company who make Xbox Live, and although this may seem like the exact same people who make the console because that's its biggest application, it is used in a lot of other places, and it's just used as the Microsoft account system now, and in fact Minecraft runs using this, meaning that even on Android you can use Xbox Live. So there is an Xbox Live service which is run by a different set of people, has its own account system, and which has its whole own kind of operations within Microsoft. And then finally we have Microsoft, the games company. So Microsoft makes a lot of games, they publish a lot of games, they make their own, they do a lot of game related stuff, and one of the big things that they recently bought was Minecraft. So Minecraft was bought in 2014 for $2.5 billion, and since then they've invested a lot of money into the franchise, and one of the biggest investments they've made is they made a Minecraft team which is headquartered in the Microsoft office in Washington. So in case you are skeptical, this really is three parts of the same company. There are other parts of Minecraft, Minecraft Java Edition in particular, that is developed in Stockholm, mostly separate to Microsoft, but we're talking about the version of the game which is mostly developed by Minecraft and by Microsoft themselves in the Microsoft office in one of their biggest places, Seattle. So with that out of the way, now you know it's the same company. What exactly can they not do together? You'd figure that Microsoft making every single layer of this experience, from the console to the service to the game it's running, would mean that you would have a perfect experience when running on the Xbox One. Except no, that's exactly the opposite of the case. If you play Minecraft on an Xbox One, you get the worst experience of any platform, and not by a little bit, by a long shot too. The game is running much better on, like I said, Nintendo. It runs much better on Android, iOS, and honestly any other platform that is not their own. And the two easiest ways to point this one out is the fact that Minecraft on the Xbox One seems to be an incomplete product. It seems to breach a lot of standards for how a game should run, because it has one of the highest crash rates of any game I've ever played on any platform, including like dodgy PC games that you shouldn't even be running on your system, or like when you play cracked versions of Android games that really aren't meant for your particular device. Even those sorts of games run a lot better than Minecraft does on the Xbox One. And in case you think this is just me taking my personal experience out on the game, no, I did a Twitter poll and I asked people how often does Minecraft Bedrock on the Xbox One crash for you, and although just under a third of people haven't had a crash yet, a lot of people, in fact the overwhelming majority, have had some number of crashes, with 23% of people, almost a quarter of Minecraft players on the Xbox One, saying it crashes multiple times a day. That is absurd to have a game crash multiple times a day on you, especially one like Minecraft where there are lots of disastrous consequences of that. And then you might think, well, okay, so it crashes a lot, but that will be fixed at some point. But no, it goes a step beyond this, because Minecraft's Xbox One is also the most expensive way to play Minecraft Bedrock online with your friends. And in case you're curious as to what I mean by that, Xbox Live is entirely free to use on Android devices, on iOS devices, and on Windows 10 devices. It's the norm on those platforms, so they figured they'd go along with it, but this means there's the very weird situation where Xbox Live, the service, costs $60 if you want to play online on the Xbox One, and although Nintendo's online costs $19, it still means that it's 3 times cheaper to play on the Switch as opposed to the Xbox One. They're basically promoting their rival's console, and if you're willing to pick up any other device, it's absolutely free to do the exact same thing, meaning that Xbox Live is most expensive on an Xbox service. So Microsoft and Microsoft do not get along in that regard. Microsoft's own service is most expensive on a Microsoft console, which means if you want to play a Microsoft game, it's going to be pretty darn bad. And you might think these are just two very specific concerns and like how much do they really affect you, but no, it keeps on going. The issues that all three of these companies have for each other are so much worse than any other platform. So take an issue like custom skins, for instance. In Minecraft, this is true for Java, but it's also true for Bedrock. You can upload custom skins into the game so you can be whatever avatar you want. You can use this to be something like an emoji face if that's how you live your life, but this is also considered an important part for many people to be able to have a skin which actually represents them. So I can be an ocelot, for instance, or you can be whatever you choose to be. However, the thing is that on Xbox One and Nintendo Switch, you cannot pick your own custom skin. And although we don't know if this will ever work on the Nintendo platform, it works on every other platform besides the Xbox One. So what's the deal with Xbox One and custom skins? Well, there's no way to get the custom skins onto the console, and one of the things that Microsoft has wanted to work on with Microsoft is make it possible to download skins from the internet that you then would, because you can download files on some current dashboard previews, but it hasn't made its way to everyone yet, and it hasn't made its way into the Minecraft game, which means you can download files if you're in the preview program, but you can't put them into Minecraft, and this is a real big problem because it means that for over a year now since the game properly released there has been no way to have a custom skin without buying one or just accepting, okay, I'm Steve now forever. So yeah, I would describe that as a pretty serious issue, but in case you don't think these ones are big enough, you think, okay, well, not being able to have your own custom skins, that kind of sucks. There's also the one-off servers. So servers are one of the best parts of the Minecraft community experience. A lot of people have set up servers, and there are so many fun places you can play with other people online. However, if you want to play servers on the Xbox One, again, a Microsoft product for a Microsoft game, you get the least choice. You only get to play on 5 partner servers. As of present, there's going to be more at some point, we assume, but there's only 5 partnered servers that have signed an agreement with Microsoft. Other than that, you cannot play on any other servers. If you play on an Android phone, on a Windows 10 device, on anything else besides the Switch and the Xbox, you can currently connect to all of these different servers. Again, there are hundreds of them out there. If you are playing on an Xbox One, you can only connect to your friends' realms, which again costs money, or you can play on an approved partner server. The reason that this is the case is because every single server connection on an Xbox One console right now has to be, manually kind of set up. It's a console limitation that you can't have just random net connections to servers. However, this is something Microsoft could work on with Microsoft, and perhaps Microsoft could get involved to help them out. But the communication between these 3 companies seems to be pretty tragic because all of these different issues, they could all be averted with some form of special deal between Microsoft, and Microsoft, but all 3 of these companies seem to work horrifically with each other. They seem to do a really good job at working with Nintendo. They got a crash-free version of the game working on Nintendo. They worked out specific details like calling it a Microsoft account instead of Xbox Live. They worked out a lot of custom stuff to make the Nintendo version of the game a really great one. But when it comes to Microsoft working with Microsoft to make the Xbox console, the thing that as a company they put a lot of money into, they just haven't made the same push there. And although there's a few ways you can think about this, maybe it's not worth their time, maybe they want it to be a bad experience on Xbox so they can't be accused of favoring people, it does still mean that instead of favoring their own platform, they literally have made it the worst one to play Minecraft on. And although I still think Minecraft is a lot of fun, although you probably are aware by now on this channel, I like playing Minecraft quite a bit. I think it's a fun game. It's crazy interesting to me that one of my favorite, consoles out there, I would say it's my favorite this generation. I know that's a controversial opinion, but my favorite console and one of my favorite games do not work very well together at all. In fact, they work quite the opposite. And this is a really interesting thing that kind of points out the problem with large companies. Large companies that have many different divisions, there are so many of them out there, I mean, especially in America, but, there are so many large companies out there that own so many different interests that even though it's still owned by the same overarching company, it's very tricky for them to actually communicate and have the correct goals with each other because, again, every single division is focused on its own kind of goals and strengths. Like, just because you own, 50,000 different companies, they don't all have to care about each other. They're all focusing on their own strengths until the parent company kind of steps in and says, no, you guys have to work on this thing together. And that is why there are so many competing products from the same, like phone manufacturers or any device manufacturers. You see this all the time where because they're made by different divisions, they kind of compete against each other to see who can be the strongest. One of my favorite examples of this one actually is the fact that Samsung, who make a lot of phones, and Apple, who make a lot of phones also, they're 2 of the world's largest phone manufacturers. At one point, they were number 1 and number 2. Despite that though, Samsung is the manufacturer of most of Apple's chips. That's right, Samsung and Apple, they have a rivalry, but really Samsung makes a lot of Apple's phones. And that sounds absurd, but they're separate parts of the same company. They're both very profitable, so why not accept it? Apple's just going to get their, their processors somewhere else if Samsung doesn't make them, and that is the logic that you see in a lot of companies. Just because a company owns 2 different things, those 2 things don't have to cooperate, and the fun example of Microsoft, and Microsoft is they really don't have any interest in cooperating with each other. The best service Minecraft can provide is by focusing on the devices where they're most popular, which isn't Xbox. The best service that Xbox can provide is by focusing on the games that most people play, and on Xbox, as far as I'm aware, Minecraft isn't even in the top 5. There's so many other big games people like to play, there's exclusives, there's other games that they need to focus on, and Xbox Live, it's mostly focused on the profit making of being a $60 a year subscription service that you need to use. All 3 of these companies have their own huge problems and interests to deal with, and I think that's the basic explanation for why Microsoft, and Microsoft work together less than, Microsoft, Sony, and Microsoft, and all these other companies, because they are bigger deals for the company as a whole, or at least for the companies individually, which therefore represents the company as a whole. And that sounds like a counterintuitive solution. That sounds like it's just, wait, so you're just gonna accept that's kind of different? I think that they will eventually work on improving Xbox. You can't fix all of the issues I mentioned here, but they are working on at least 2 of the issues, and at some point in the future, they might both be gone. But for now, that's kind of just how things are. And I know that is a, unsatisfying answer for some people. You want to be like, there's a secret Microsoft lizard conspiracy where, you know, Bill Gates turned into a lizard and he's, you know, secretly trying to divide the company to make more money or something. You're expecting something like that, but it really is just like a lot of companies have this same issue, and it's just most interesting because it happens in 3 separate places, not working well instead of just 2 when it comes to Microsoft. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I want to clarify at the end here because I think liking, you know, Xbox on the internet is a very upsetting opinion to a lot of people. I know this generation, Sony won the war of opinions, or Nintendo has the best, like, most fun console. So people hate it when you say, oh yeah, I like Microsoft consoles. But I'm just being honest when I say that Xbox One is my favorite console. I'd rather not lie and say, oh, I love Sony like all of you guys. No, I just like the Xbox One controller. I like that it looks hooks up into the same system that you can use on the website a lot easier than Sony's, and it's just in general, for me, it is a better console. I know a lot of you prefer PlayStation 4, or maybe you play on mobile or whatever else the device is. I know there's the PC gamers too, but this is just my personal preference. Hopefully, I know a lot of people are going to hate me for that, but hopefully you choose not to. But with that said, regardless, I hope you all enjoy the video. Make sure you turn on notifications if you want to see more of these daily on your homepage, and I guess I'll see you all in maybe another week for another commentary video. This is like an almost weekly series, and I think it's kind of fun to talk about some stuff. So yeah, with that said, I guess I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.